Yeah, man, it's your boy Alfred once again, and welcome to another video. And today's video is entitled Why You Are Full of Insecurities. Why you are full of insecurities. Now, there's a myriad of reasons why people would have insecurities, right? But from what I've gathered, there's a few reasons that I've gathered, right? One being that you're not willing to mature. Start with number one. Elephant in the room is that you're not willing to mature. You don't want to get out of that mindset where the mindset that's actually holding you back, right? You're still stuck in the box, so you don't want to mature. And many people actually they hide their insecurities through these behaviors, very immature behavior. And I'm really talking about adults, right? If you're 18 and above, you're an adult, and you're supposed to be working on your insecurities. And once you realize that a big part of what's holding you back, what's making you insecure and less confident, is that you act immaturely and you have immature tendencies, right? Then you have work to do. Now, what I can at least tell you that was the immature part, right? Where you know you're immature. Now, come on, we all know our insecurities, we all know our vices. If you're immature, you have to realize that you're actually, first of all, you're not willing to grow and get rid of those things that are keeping you back. And the best way, one of the best ways actually, to socialize with matured people. It's a hard one for a lot of people because, like I said, they're so used to immature behavior, and that's actually the kind of people they're gonna attract. If you're immature and you're not willing to grow, right, you're going to constantly attract immature people. That's a given. But once you're ready to be matured and then act mature, right, and be mature really, and you're gonna come across people who actually mature. Now, one essence of maturity is that you accept criticism and you accept other people's viewpoint, even if you don't always have to agree with them, but you have to be able to process those and then act upon them, right? And then think about them, right? But immature people just straight out reject advice, they reject things that will actually help them, because they know that at that moment their immaturity give them certain benefits. Fair enough, but there's a trade-off. If you remain immature and you totally reject maturity, then you have to accept that you'll be insecure and less confidence for the rest of your life. There's really no other way to be to put this, right? So embracing maturity, right, means that you're going to embrace growth mindset. You're going to look deep inside and try and get rid of those vices and those things that are holding you back. And part of it is that what you're going to be doing, right, is having relationships with mature people. If you're constantly having fights, chaos in your life, you're attracting people who are just doing the same thing over and over and not helping you grow, then you're really not ready to mature. And one thing, especially in relationship, concerning relationship, right? A lot of immature people, right, do not like to be told the truth. And that's exactly why they get stuck that mindset that they are. Right? They don't want to be told you're wrong. They don't want to be told, listen, this is not it. Right? They only want people who will actually validate their situation, validate themselves, right? And the funny part is that people who constantly validate you and tell you that, okay, you're in the wrong, who are not going to set you straight, those are the very same people you are not supposed to. Those are the very people you're supposed to avoid. But a mature person will tell you, listen, you're wrong here. For example, right, I had a date a week ago, right? She was late. Right? Straight I told her, listen, I don't like people who come late to a date. So that I knew that she was used to actually wasting people's time. I've been in enough dates, I've been with enough women to recognize this. And another thing is that I had already known that a lot of men do not check women. They do not tell them, listen, this is not supposed to be that way. Now, yes, I get it, sometimes things happen and shit like that. I get it. But in fact, with that date, I had already cancelled it, right? But she's the one who actually insisted let's meet up because she had flaked on me. If she had not called me up and said, okay, listen, we can meet up, I would have not have had anything to do with her, right? Because she had flaked and she had already wasted my time, right? Now, the problem with a majority of men in this situation, for example, they will tolerate that shit, and then this person thinks that's the norm until she meets up with Alfred. That no, I don't care who you are, how pretty. She was pretty, right? I don't care how pretty you are, I don't care how beautiful. It doesn't matter. Really, you have. If we set a time, meet up with this time. I know it's, I'm not that strict like of a person, but I'm also understanding, right? You tell me, listen, I'll be late. That's cool, right? But some people do it out of habit because they think that they can get away with it. That's immaturity. And then you have to be the one to check those type of people. So a part of it is that we allow a lot of people to do that, and then they're not able to fathom that they have to act a certain way in order to mature. And another reason, a big reason, is that a lot of men just let that slide because of their beauty, of this chick's beauty, and because they think that they're going to get the putty. So that's one part of it, right? So that's immaturity, right? You are not going to get rid of your insecurity if you dwell in immaturity. You need to grow, you need to have mature relationships. That's how people find themselves. That's how you grow and know yourself, by having relationships. Another reason, right, for your insecurities is because you love shortcuts. This is in fact something that I realized that a lot of people who like shortcuts, who don't want to put in the work, right, they end up being very insecure. Very insecure because taking shortcuts, you know that you've not put in the work. Shortcuts, people, to tell you the truth, man, shortcuts, they don't do much for you, and that's because they don't help you grow. And that's the thing about shortcuts. They really don't show you where you have blundered, because you've actually cut corners. Now, when you cut corners, you're not moving in a path that's supposed to take you from point A to point B. You don't know what the mistakes you have done from between point A and point B, and those mistakes and failures are the things that actually help you grow. Right? If you're gonna cheat in an exam and actually get the grades that you wanted, you've not learned anything. What you've learned is that if you cheat, right, you're gonna get results. Fair enough, you're gonna get results, but what have you learned from that? So you're just going straight from point A to point B without learning anything. Just like someone who starts primary school and then goes straight to, I don't know, high school without actually passing through second grade, third grade, and so on and so forth. You're not going to learn anything, right? And when you get there, there's some things that will be demanding of you, and that's when the insecurities start kicking in. I've seen this before. I've seen it a lot, especially in the workplace. People become insecure because they represent themselves as certain people when actually they have not qualified for either that certain work or to be in that environment. They're not qualified. So taking shortcuts is one of those things that will make you insecure, because deep inside you know you've not put in the work, you've not gone through that, you've not gone through what you're meant to go through, the path that you're meant to go through. It's taking shortcuts, and you've cut corners in order to get to that place, which will definitely get you insecure. I always put this, for example, people who are working out and then they start building muscles. There's the slow way where you're slowly building those muscles through hypertrophy. Then there's the faster way through where you can use PEDs, enhancement drugs. Now, whichever you do, that's on you. Whatever you take, that's on you. If you're taking PEDs, but you don't lie to yourself. At least don't lie to yourself. But if you're going to lie to others saying that, listen, this body of mine is natural and all that, it's going to show. Those insecurities are going to kick in. You see this also on social media. A lot of people posing as if they are rich. They're posing as if they have money, but and says they're only posing. They're playing on a facade. They're showing a facade. It's fake. If you meet these people in person and you are real, right? You're real about yourself. They won't like you because you are real. They are fake. They're faking things on the Instagram, on YouTube, all that other shit. That when they meet you in person, they're very insecure. They can't even look you in the eye because they're fucking insecure. They have not put in the work for real. Right. So that's another reason you are very much insecure. You take shortcuts. You are freaking immature, and you're not willing to listen to people who are matured enough to tell you what's up. Right? And another reason, this will be the last one, right, is that you're not willing to grow, which is it's a bit tied to the maturity, but this is more of a mindset, right? It's the fact that you're not willing to grow above your current mindset. You don't want to get out the box, really. So your current mindset, yes, it may be giving you things that you have been looking for, right? But growth is growth, man. You have to grow through your mindset, and in order to really evolve, especially if you're a man involved in trying to see the best version of yourself. If you really want to evolve and be that man, you have to have a growth mindset. If you're stuck in a certain mindset, right, certain beliefs, you do not want to embrace new ways of doing things, new things, right? You don't want to embrace people that will actually help you, right, in your journey, right? Because they're going to tell it as it is, because some people are straightforward, they tell the truth. You just want people who are going to tell you what you want to hear instead of what you have to hear. You're still not ready for a growth mindset. You're going to be full of insecurities because you're going to find out that there's a lot that you have to learn, there's a lot that you have to do. But the fact that you're not willing to grow, you're going to only find ways of hiding those insecurities, right? You're going to find ways of pretending that you're confident. That's why these days people rush for money. They only rush for money and want money to hide their insecurities. They want status to hide their insecurities, right? Now, like I usually say, nothing wrong with money, nothing wrong with status, nothing wrong with having cars and houses. But if that's done in order to hide those insecurities, they're going to bring a lot of problems, especially in relationships. You cannot hide yourself behind these things. Your true self will eventually come out. Even if you're going to attract that girl that you want, right, through this money and through the status, right, through that house that you have, right, the good job. If you're going to attract that person, right, which is well and good, but what happens when your personality does not align with who you really are? Meaning that you're not as confident as you are, as you make yourself to be, especially when you're away from this. And this is what I'm saying. People who are away from the things that make them confident. For example, they're away from cars, they've lost things, they really lose confidence in themselves because they had put confidence above actual growth. I mean, they had put these tangible things above actual growth. The mindset has to grow above these things. These things should be a reward. Whatever it is that you have should just be a reward to help you move forward. These are tools. Money is a tool, car is a tool. Whatever it is that you have that you think that should bring you confidence, all those things are tools. Confidence, true confidence comes within, from within, and radiates without. But without a mindset that helps you grow, you're not going to recognize these things. And unfortunately, you're not going to attract the very people that will help you grow. You're constantly going to attract the very same people over and over again. So I'm going to stop there, man. It's been your boy Alfred, and I hope that was helpful with that video saying that a reason or reasons you are insecure. And till next time, peace.